Yeah. I've had a very lovely, very, very chilled, very low-key weekend. But it's been nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I kind of forget it's the weekend because all the days are still blurred together for me.
Yeah. Going back to school helped with that. But we've had a long...
Oh, yeah. Of course, the kids are always like, are you at school? And I was like, no, you have children.
Yes. Yeah. Mila was just in a delightful mood when I picked her up yesterday. She took me for a run down the hill. So we were running down this bushy hill, and it was just such a gorgeous, like, crisp joy in the air that I haven't felt since I was a little kid.
That's cool.
Or since I remember a few moments in my life of my childhood of having that just such crisp bliss. And I have this beautiful memory of this. It's like a very bittersweet memory, actually, because I was lying there. I had this absolute blissful state emanating from me, and my brother jumped up onto my bed. I think I was lying in bed, and I just slipped into this state, and I was just going, oh my gosh, could existing feel any better? And my brother jumped up on the bed to like play, and I just roared at him like, oh my gosh, you're ruining this like amazing moment. And it felt so bad, and he was so upset. I was like,
oh. No idea though.
No idea. And I remember trying to grasp that state back, and it wasn't until much later in my life that I actually managed to cultivate that state. And sometimes it just appears, and sometimes I have to work to actually enter it. But yesterday was a nice vista of that bliss. So yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, that's where I've been trying to get to with meditation, but I think I'm going to have a few more years practice.
Yeah, so trying to get there with meditation, you absolutely can, but practice it. But it's clearing away those layers of that emotional dross that build up, that we don't recognize, that's been there for such a long time, that it feels like part of us. And what I notice with myself is that it's really hard to cleanse off in a meditation solo. When you're meditating in a group, the energies are so much stronger, that emotional dross is so much easier to clear and to cleanse. Yeah, and it really is. It seems like this boring stuff, doing all those cleansing meditations to cleanse the layers of that emotional stuff that builds up. But once that's done, then we can feel that state, the natural state of our vibration. And when we start to feel the natural state of our vibration, then we can pop into that bliss.
Yeah, sometimes it's just having the time as well.
Yeah. But no, it's not. Actually, it's not about having the time, because you know what? You never have the time. You just have to actually be really disciplined at making the time. That funny little meme that goes around, that I think it's the Dalai Lama's meme. It's like, you have to meditate for half an hour every day, unless you haven't got the time, in which case meditate for 2. If you don't have the time to meditate for half an hour, you have to meditate for 2 hours every day.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, I'm as guilty as everyone for letting that meditation time slip.
Yeah. I do actually have the time, but just don't. I'm going to go into isolation and coming back to Australia, so I'll have lots of time for meditation.
Yeah, they're requiring you to go into isolation coming from New Zealand.
Yeah, well, we have
from
no
the plane
COVID.
trip or something.
Yeah, it's just my life. I just get to have a little bit of a
Yeah.
bit of a wild ride sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll be fine. I thank God that we did that meditation course last year,
Well,
because
sing out if
I
you
think it's going to keep me very sane.
yeah, sing out if you need any extra. Yeah. 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 So do you have to spend the time completely inside?
Yeah, so it's in a hotel room. They're very small rooms for 2 weeks alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's yeah, meditation will be very
Yeah.
good. Some creative journals perhaps.
Yeah, as a very impatient person, I think it's going to be a nice way to maybe learn some patience, because I know that's something that's come up a lot this year that I have to learn a bit more of.
Mm.
Yeah, patience and just being okay with letting things take a bit longer than I want.
Yeah, you need some stuff to get really expressive to help all that like as those emotions shift because you've got nothing to bounce it off, that inner screaming that wants to come up.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
tried to
kind of,
keep a journal for my first isolation and I didn't really get far through it, but it's because I was very distracted because I had somebody else in isolation with me.
yeah.
And we could go for walks on that one, where this one you can't go for walks. So I have got a big journal, so maybe I'll get some
Yeah,
different
get some
stuff.
like soft pastels or something so that you
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah get a bit messy with
Yeah,
the
I think, yeah, I brought some paints as well, so
yeah awesome
do that.
yeah
That and meditating and probably just watching a lot of TV.
yeah well, lots of maybe you get through lots of good YouTube stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've actually been watching, you suggested Amanda Alice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And now it's like kind of something I do to like fall asleep, is just watch a little bit of that, and then it helps me kind of drift off and calm down.
yeah, awesome. Maybe we can do a bit of a list, a spiel of things that you can check out.
You should be doing you should be Amanda Alice. She's got such a good platform. She does really well. And she's got all these followers. And I was like, oh, well, this is what Bianca and Eliza, they should have all these followers too.
Oh, all in good time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, I could make a suggestion for you to watch some YouTubes while inside.
Oh, I'd love that. That'd be so nice.
Yeah, I've been following this. I think it's somewhere in Russia, and this guy goes out for walks in nature along rivers, and he's got this talent. And nature in all its abundance, he finds gold, he finds gemstones, and just like that, just laying around next to the river.
Oh, beautiful.
What
I,
an amazing gift.
yeah, for nature, it's not easy finding these things because they are simply there.
Mm.
One video I watched, he found a lump of gold as big as a baseball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's I'm watching it with him on the biggest screen I can get, and I shout to the screen, "No, to the left! There's another one! To the left! Go back!" And of course, I'm daydreaming of having a hike along one of these rivers one of these days. Maybe not in Kazakhstan, but who knows? And it's fun to imagine myself being there and finding gems and gold with him, and learning some words of Russian in the same time. And he's he's not really in the wild, because in some such shots you can see a city in the background, and still it feels for me like he's out there in the wild, nothing but nature around, and all these spirits or gnomes or fairies or whatever rock people are there. I can sense them through the screen, and it's fun being inside and still be able to watch nature and hear the water flowing by, and I like it. And it's a Russian name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe I can. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. I'll find it.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, just anytime.
Maybe we can just put some links in the comments below when I put this on YouTube, we can link and put that.
Yeah, cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Lacey, about movement and exercise for your body too. And I don't know if you do yoga, but there's plenty of YouTube yoga people that you can access to. And one that I've really liked is Yoga with Adriene. Lots of free options, and you can do 15 minutes or you can do an hour. There's heaps of different. So it's Adriene, Adriene.
Cool. Thank you. No, I will have to be moving or else my body gets all sore.
Yeah, and even for sort of regulating through emotional shifts and things, just having that kind of whole body work is for me really useful too. So.
Yeah, definitely hold a lot of stuff in your body if you don't sort of get it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, thank you.
Yeah, there's lots of beautiful things that you could do just to connect into different parts of the world, different parts of your body, different parts of the psyche.
There's so much happening in the world right now with the protests and everything.
Yeah.
You said in the meditation class last year, you're like, something huge is coming, and
I just remember like people asking me about what the energy is, and every time I'm like like it was so intense and kind of horrendous feeling that I'm just like, I don't actually want to read into that. I'm really glad I didn't, because I don't think I would have found it very challenging to say what I saw.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just to cope with the air being like, I know what's coming next.
Yeah, no, all I saw was so it was so messy and so many people so upset and so disturbed.
Yeah.
That I had to quickly jump back out again and just go, just clean your shit up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what's coming, just clean your shit up.
But that was, really helpful.
Yeah, to know something huge was coming was kind of helpful, because when it did hit, it was like, oh no, I knew this was going to happen. Knew it was going to be big. Just didn't kind of know what kind of big. I thought it was going to be something really like, but I kind of get a feeling like it's like that, like the age of Aquarius, where it was like, the generation of love, and they almost got there, and I thought that was going to happen, but COVID gave me the feeling it really wasn't going to happen. But now with these protests, it has this potential for all this amazing change. So I'm like, maybe we still could be the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, we're really getting the opportunity to. We've talked a lot about it over the last couple of weeks and months about how we're having the opportunity to shine the light into the dark, ugly spaces of what happens, and we're really getting to see. We're really, really getting to see, and hopefully really integrate that and bring that light into that and heal the horrendous patterns and the horrendous things that happen on our earth. Yeah.
To me, it seems now in this moment that what you're saying to heal the unlovely stuff is going backwards, like looking back.
Yeah.
And what if next to that, not to replace, but maybe simultaneously, we could also find ways which would be fun in isolation, I guess, to shine our lights forward towards the world we would like to live in, forward towards a world we know is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I think is really, really, really important to hold with that is that we can't actually move forward into the world that we want unless everyone is moving with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have to shine our light
Yes.
into those places where those vibrations are heavy and painful, because it's the people there that actually need it the most.
Yes. And everybody heals or chooses change on their terms, if and when they are ready. And like, well, you see a lot of things going on, people being very active in waking up other people.
It goes into that bridge
which
thing,
is
isn't it?
kind of okay and maybe not. Like, I don't like to get force-fed information.
No.
And I cannot digest this information unless I choose to and unless I'm ready for it. And I don't like to be told what to believe or what to know or what to do. And probably in whatever level someone is, everybody else doesn't like to be force-fed and told.
No. I think we have to just keep in mind that bridge energy, and that, yes, absolutely, we need to hold that light with where one end of the bridge is, but equally be that light, that whole span of the bridge. So where we're standing, and standing in the actual world that we are in, I want to say squalor. It's like it's not that focusing on the unpleasant things that are happening in our world is not contaminating us, or it's not even that it's focused. It's like holding that light for that to heal and that to shift. It's like by there's a line coming to me that was the title of a book, where it's like in the belly of the beast. It's like by allowing yourself to be strong enough to be fully light and holding your vision of what you want to occur in a space that is ripe for shifting, that is ripe for growth, can be really, really, really helpful. And I think that's what we've got at the moment. There's so much ripeness for growth that it's like we don't want to jump out of that shit. Like, we don't want too many people jumping out or just not thinking at all about what's actually happening around them, but just still being like in your light. But you can still spread your light around. You can still go on your thing, and you can still be loving and kind and active.
I was reading an astrology post on Facebook today that I think sums that up fairly nicely, and I took a couple of screenshots of it. Can I share it?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
A heads up. The sudden shifts in perspective catalyzed by Friday's Gemini eclipse have torn the blinders off, personally and collectively. Old, outdated laws, rules, beliefs, and social norms are going to be dismantled and left in the dustbin of history as the fallout from the wild card eclipse ripples out in a domino effect until the baton of change is handed over at the next two eclipses across Gemini, Sagittarius towards the end of the year. Distortions, untruths, corruption, inequality, injustice, and incongruency will be seen for exactly what it is, especially obvious in world leaders wearing the emperor's new clothes, and the usual platitudes invoking religion or fobbing us off with promises of doing better will not cut it any longer. This week, Mars meets Neptune in Pisces at odds with the Sun and the node of fate. Be alert for deception, fake news, along with cynical photo opportunities as diversionary tactics. The big question is whose truth is in accordance with natural and eternal laws? To navigate the coming 18 months of Gemini eclipses, you need to trust your own judgment above the social media echo chambers, above tribalism, to base your actions on your core values, and to recognize when your body is giving you either a big yes or a big no, and follow its guidance. There's a little bit talking about, and I'll read that, sorry. So this week, amplifying all the 3D polarization, the separation, and the ferocious tribalism we are seeing on our screens 24/7. On Sunday, the 14th of June, Pluto and Jupiter make a second exact square with Eris from Capricorn to Aries. Eris acts as a subversive or chaotic agent, a disruptor of the status quo, a rule breaker, a female awakener symbolizing people and circumstances that are so different that you resist considering them one of us and instead see them as the discomforting other, a stranger, an alien. Think of how that is literally playing in the US right now. This messenger of transformation brings growth by disrupting old patterns of thinking, beliefs, and expectations, shattering the unexamined and comforting codes of this is how we do things around here. Through being challenged over and over by your reaction to radically new concepts and being compelled by circumstances beyond your control to integrate these concepts into a redesigned inner map of the world, you evolve into a much more expansive field of unity consciousness. Reminder, we are in an unpredictable and volatile triple eclipse tunnel until July 22. Sudden shifts are everywhere and you won't see them coming. There is nothing to do, ritualize, practice, or change. Just stay open and say yes to change wherever it shows up in your life. These cosmic wildcard eclipses are delivering you to a part of yourself that you've never met before, and she is kinder, braver, and wiser than you ever imagined. The map is not the territory. Respect for everyone's map of the world. People make the best choices they can at the time from the thinking that looks real to them at the time. Increase choice by constantly shifting from your small me perspective to the witness perch and back. Action changes understanding. If you want to understand something, act, move, embody it. You already have all the inner resources you need or can create them. Everything points to integration and wholeness.
It's lovely.
Beautiful.
It just seemed to touch on lots of things that have come up in our discussions.
I like the shifting from the small me to the witness,
Yes.
which I think is so important at the moment, because we are being challenged in fundamental ways to question our own reactions and our own responses, and we have like these initial sort of it's really important to keep taking ourselves out and to witness our own reactions and then witness what is going on in the world from outside as well, just to help keep expanding that and letting go, expanding and letting go, expanding and letting go. Yeah. I've got the most beautiful view of the full moon rising up over through my window at the moment. Although not quite full, but just off full. It's very, I'm like, oh, how nice. How did anyone see the eclipse on Saturday morning? I almost did.
Oh, really?
To lead into if I start talking about that, we'll start talking about other things. But so dreams have been really really pertinent, strong, whatever. I really wanted to get up and watch the eclipse, and I was going to do it with Miller, but she ended up not being here. And I didn't think, I was like, oh, I won't. And I was having the most terrifying dream, and I woke up and then I lay there going, okay, I can't do anything about that. And then I'm like, I lay there stewing about the dream for about 20 minutes, and then got up and then went, oh, now it's 20 to 6. Had I got up when I woke up from that dream, I'm like, so that's the way you decided to wake me up to go see the eclipse? I'm like, and it was like, well, nothing else would have actually really woken you up. You would have just, just like, right. Well, we've got to work on this, this way that we communicate, don't we? Thank you. I've been finding it really interesting how our inner psyche will communicate with us, and sometimes like the really loud signals that we need in order to take note. So that was really funny. I'm like, you didn't have to terrify me in order to wake me up. We're like, well, you would have just stayed in your dream state had it not been shocking enough to see you bolt upright in bed. And then I'm like, and as I was lying there stewing about the dream, I'm like, it's probably just time for the eclipse. And I'm like, oh, rubbish, it feels like the middle of the night. And I didn't listen. I should have just got up. I would have. Anyway, so I missed the eclipse by 20 minutes, and I spent 20 minutes stewing about the terror that this dream had ensued. It was totally unnecessary.
It's a very relatable feeling. I've had such vivid dreams most of my life, but the last couple of nights they've been like post-apocalyptic, like America's taken over, and I was just like, oh, I've watched too much news before I've gone to bed, and I really shouldn't do that to myself.
Yeah, the dream state is really close. I want to say at the moment, it's like there's been a shift in the layers of reality, so that the dream state has come, and the influence of the dream state has come closer, it feels.
Yeah. I hope my dream really wasn't that close to any reality, because it meant that Trump had taken over. So let's pray that doesn't happen.
Probably a whole host of different amalgamations of things processing.
Yeah, definitely. So with this shift, like is it like are we having less layers between us and our consciousness, or?
I'm not sure is the honest answer to that. If I could go and do a reading to that, it's like we have more access. So what I'm being given now is that dreaming gives us access to all times. We actually have access to all time in our waking consciousness, but we can really actually have access to and influence all time through dreaming. And so with the healing shift that is occurring at the moment, the potential for healing to happen at the moment, it's like the people doing the work, it can, like, that healing can go back and actually heal the past.
Oh.
Which is always available to us, but it's becoming available to us in a wider way, in a bigger way. More people are having access to that.
Is it anything to do with that big vibration that's coming through?
What big vibration that's coming through? What are you specifically referring to there?
Oh, it's not. I realized that we didn't. Wasn't talking about here. I was talking about when I talked to you. Sorry. The big light vibration of things coming down from the universe that's shifting from east to west.
Is it that? No, it's not directly related to that. No, okay. That's different. So that was the heart awakening that's coming across. I had mentioned to Lacey about the heart awakening progressing across the planet from New Zealand to Australia and then onwards. No, it's
sorry, I'm mixing everything.
No, that's okay. That's totally fine. Totally an understandable question too. No, this is a different plane. It's like a slice or a sliver into reality that is allowing. And I think, Elisa, this is why I was it's linking in as to why I wanted to be able to hold the awareness and that light into those areas that aren't as pretty, because this shift with this dreaming that's coming up, it's like we actually have the ability to shine this, to raise the vibration of the past, which actually then enables us to have a lighter vibration to stand on to where we can go.
Yeah.
Which is...
I also think, looking back the last 2 weeks in my personal life, and then finding out that unusual shifts in the Schumann resonance are occurring, which seems to match with what I personally experience. It's like the Schumann resonance of the complete planet is shifting to a different frequency, which also will hold space for all of us.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a new sunburst coming in. Like something happened on the sun, and those energies are traveling with 300,000 miles per second.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that could be a big hit, which is also happening right now. There seems to be a meteorite of some sorts on its way close to Earth, which is predicted to be a near miss. So what's what? Or is this all intertwined? Does one element of that have influence to another element of that? And where are we in all of that? And I know this personally, for me, my body requires lots of sleep at the moment.
Mm.
I can sleep in until 11, be up until 3. I can have a little afternoon nap and then wake up at 8 and be up until midnight and then easily sleep to 11 the next morning.
Mm.
And I am the lucky one. I can do that.
Yeah,
with no child, no job, no nothing in my life. So I can lay down whenever I feel like it. And it could, depending on the weather, of course, that could be inside or outside.
Yeah.
Which is also a weird shift. Like last week, we had days of 25 Celsius and the next day 12 Celsius, which is unusual to say the least.
Mm. You should move to Ballarat. We get that all the time.
Well, usually a change in temperature is more gradual.
Yeah.
But luckily we have some rain now.
Yeah, that deep, heavy, like last week, I was clearly doing so much work in my dreams because I'd go to wake up and I'd be like pulling my conscious, like I'm like, oh, like This guy would, you've got to get out of bed. Okay, I'll just reeling myself in from heck knows where. And I bumped into a friend. He's like, oh, nice to see you in person. You've been very busy in all of our dreams lately. I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised. Yeah. So I think that the contraction and expansion with that cold and then that warm is really important. It's like we're doing this, and it's really important. It's really important to get fluid at being able to do that. And when that contraction happens, and we're being asked to look at something small or tight, not to feel the crushingness of that, but just allow ourselves to do that. And then when that expansion then comes again, it's like it's expanding into that bliss and expanding into that new future. It's not even that new future is not the right word. It's expanding into the new. I want to say the new now, the new it's like that new reality that is the eternal now. It's not future. It's like we're so close to popping into that. You know how they like things slow down supposedly on the edge of a black hole? It's like that's what's sort of like happening in reverse. It's like where things feel like they're not moving or that they're going back, like, and things are getting more intense as we move towards this thing where we can just make that transition to pop into that new reality. It's like the event horizon of the new reality is really like we're on that. And the image that I can see at the moment is like this staccato flashing of like stuff before our eyes. And then just popping into that. When that energy changes, it suddenly like spreads out along a whole plane. It's like up until that point, our energy is really self-contained and really, I want to say emotional. It's really emotionally reactive. And we get little bursts of what the potential is, but they're only like this wide. There's a bit wider than our head in those staccato flashes. And then once it actually makes that transition, which time does really weird things in that transition as you come over that, and then it just pops in, and then like conscious awareness is along this entire plane that I can't, it's thin, but it's so far either way, I can't see the edges of it. And it's like our awareness and our connectedness is infinite on that plane of existence. Whereas at the moment, we're very much like individual, isolated, experiencing bodies is the word. epically amazing to be living that transition, like into that awareness.
Yeah, I think that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, yay. It's yeah, it is really exciting. Awesome. Wow, like that feeling into that is a completely it's a completely different reality. The way we communicate, the way we experience, it's like we are really, really, really at the end of an age where everything that we know to be true, everything that we, sorry, not everything that we know to be true, that's the wrong, it's like all the ways, all the methods, techniques, job, everything that we have learnt to survive, all the mechanisms of functioning are so outdated. It's like it's just completely, the only word that I can actually use is outdated, but that word is so insignificant. And I don't know that we have a word, or I don't have the word in my vocabulary right now to explain just how pointless all of this stuff is, because it actually is just not going to, none of it, all of the technologies, all of the ways people think, the ways people communicate, the way people feel, the way people are connected to other people, it's all.
Because I like how you get raised in like Western society, being told to be this like individual, and like if you have a family, you just look after the children with your partner, and it's not like, you know. But then you can look at all these other ways that people are doing things in different parts of the planet, like in Eastern communities where the whole family looks after the children. You go, whoa, that seems to make way more sense. Like when you have a shift of seeing how other places do things, and you go, well, why can't we do it like that? That seems to make more sense, and it seems way more healthy. And
But if I would try to apply that
to one sentence,
or that scenario, like raising children into this, I can't even, it doesn't even compute. Like, how would that, I don't even know if we still have bodies, to tell you the truth.
like after the change,
Yeah.
like we can share consciousness.
Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's like that. Yeah.
Like the individual doesn't matter as much anymore.
No. But you still have an individual self.
Yeah.
But you are connected in consciousness to everything around you. And it's very much a light body. Light. It's all light. It's all light bodies. I have to do it more than just on a fly in a group conversation. I'll have to read into that a bit more deeply. But that's yeah, exciting to meditate on. I'll have to so how does that work? Yeah, there are children there, but they're light bodies as well. And when I asked about the raising the children were just there holding the hands of these grown-ups, but they were just like there. It's like,
I was just saying the children thing, just to have a like an example of like when you find a new way or a new idea, and you're like, wow, it's like better than just being the individual. It's like better to be with everyone, like being part of the collective, instead of having to survive on your own in your own brain.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no, you still have a unique energy signature, but that is interconnected intimately with everything around it.
Like it is now, you mean, except we're not aware of it?
There's definitely a thread of a similarity. That's why I said I don't know if we still have bodies in that where it's moving to, in that change, because the density that we experience with the bodies makes it very difficult for a lot of people to perceive that interconnectedness. It's the taking care of the material body that distracts us so much. I can't feel that in this light experience that I'm looking into over that event horizon. It feels like the body, I'll say in inverted commas, is sustained by the fabric of reality. There is no it's like a pure consciousness existence, but there is still, yeah, anyway, you ponder on that one. But yeah, can you expand on the way that people can experience that now, Elisa? Because that's really important for people to start to play with, start to experience, start to feel, start to know that they can do that already.
Oh, we are interconnected simply by facts. The fact that my body is on Earth and your body is on Earth. And the few molecules my feet are resting on now are connected to the molecules of the rest of the floor, which are connected to the surface of the Earth, which are connected to the molecules next to them and above and below them, which are connected to the molecules next and above below them, and keep on going. And my body's molecules will touch your body's molecules via the molecules in between. I'm having an in-breath made up out of what trees and other plants have breathed out. So there's an interconnectedness. And the second I breathe out, my out breath gets mixed with the rest of the air, which then goes into trees, it goes with the wind, goes in a hurricane. So possibly some molecules of my out breath will be in the air you breathe in next week. If I eat a plant or an animal, it travels throughout this cluster of molecules that is now my body. And it will travel out again, intermingle with sewage and water and compost, and at one point re-enters the cycles of life on Earth and probably become another plant containing some molecules that have been my body for a split moment in time, and then getting consumed by some other body and become part of that body for a split moment in time. So there is this continuum of molecules, and it has been in whichever way things will evolve from here, or no, we are in evolution. It's not a start and go moment in some near future. But this eternal circulation of molecules and energies that had been everywhere over 3.8 billion years. Apparently this Earth exists. It has been anywhere and everywhere, and it will be anywhere and everywhere. So how are we not connected? How many molecules are contained inside this vessel, this 10 seconds? And every out breath, every word I speak, some of those energies flow outwards again. And with every in-breath and with every piece of information I receive in whichever way, there's this continuous flow of everything. How can we not be interconnected?
Can you allow people to experience for a moment with that journey that their consciousness can take with that interconnection? Because I think that a lot of people feel that their consciousness is very contained within the vessel that is their head, and so it's breaking out of that containment of our head that people find really challenging.
Can you be where you are right now, in this body, in this chair, in this building, and remember a holiday in a different place? So your body is here, and your thinking, your consciousness is at that time, at that space when you were in a holiday. And can you now imagine your next holiday? And still have your body in this chair, in this building, and your thinking mind be some other space, some other time. So where is your thinking? Is it inside this roundish box? Or is it everywhere you can direct it to? And can you jump from a past vacation to the next vacation? And run to the grocery store in the meantime? Bianca, you are a mom. Have you ever experienced being inside your business room, doing businessy things, and have some part of your brain in the kitchen, thinking about what's on the stove, have some part on your brain on the clock, thinking about picking up children from school, and running through the grocery store at the same time, while your body hasn't moved any muscle at all? We do it all the time. And we have been learning or maybe even forced into believing that it's all inside here, but it's not. Think about your car. You're not in your car right now. And still, close your eyes and you're inside your car. You could be even driving, plotting the next route, or driving to a place in the past. And still your body has not left the building. So how can we not be interconnected? We're everywhere, all the time.
We talked about the releasing of the dross, Lacey, the emotional dross. And I was just thinking at the start, Lacey, I was just thinking then about how that affects people, because so often when they're taking their mind, they're taking their like emotions with them. They're taking their heavy emotions or their experiences of past stuff with them when they go. So not actually, part of them is experiencing where their mind is traveling, and part of them is remembering rehashing something, or they are distracted by the emotions that they're taking with them. So they're not actually getting to experience what it's like to be going to these places. So
yeah, I feel like that could really slow you down.
Yeah. It makes you just not observe or not aware that you're actually having a new experience. So by cleansing that and allowing yourself to be free of those past emotions, doing just what Elisa just said, and taking that journey, you get to actually perceive and receive the input and the impulses from that journey, which Elisa is brilliant at doing. And communicating that. And it's really so important to learn how to do that and to feel into that. Mostly just because it's fun.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels amazing to be connected and to be able to receive those new impulses, to be open to that new communication. Because if you're distracted by a memory of old communication, when you take yourself somewhere, you can't actually be free to have that new experience.
Well, what would it be like? And this just pops in my thinking brain as you're speaking. Like, we all have memories with emotions attached. And I don't know how it's in your culture, but around here, people seem to take some kind of pride of carrying around emotional luggage and using it as an excuse to not be or do something because they have this luggage, their backpack, they call it. Even the suggestion of emptying out your backpack is like flabbergasting. And what if we just play a fantasy game? We just now learn we can travel to different places. What if we sort out our luggage and empty out our backpack and return the emotions to the moment in time where it occurred and leave it there? Or bring it to a place where this emotion is appropriate to live. And then travel forward in time with an empty backpack, which is now available to collect yummy things. Or maybe travel without a backpack and know everything is available to go visit in your mind or with your body, whatever you choose, or whatever is most convenient in that 10 seconds. And then, after bringing emotions backwards in the timeline to the moment where they belong, would it be easier or more fun to travel forward? Would it be lighter? And of course, you still can choose to be where you are now with everything that's there. It's just a choice.
I was just blissing out listening to the digital crickets that have started up.
I have the most loveliest frogs outside my window.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they're really not digital crickets, they're your frogs.
Oh, are they? Yeah. I didn't think you'd be able to hear them.
I can. I was like,
really loud.
Yeah, they are.
When I started staying, because where I'm staying, it's just down the hill a bit from my parents. And my dad was like, "Oh, one of the neighbors put frogs in the pond. You'll have to kill them all." And I was like, "I don't think I'm going to kill those frogs." And now I've banned him from killing them because I just love them. And they're so noisy that he thinks they keep me awake at night, but I think they're lovely.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm glad now I was like, wow, you're really blissing out on those digital, because sometimes we get all these like this digital static that warbles on the line. I was just like, just blissing out, listening to it. So yeah, that's not sure why I'm,
Oh, well, there you go.
feel more comfortable that I was blissing out to the frogs than the digital,
Probably, yeah.
feeling some of my internal biases there.
Well, you get crickets all the way from New Zealand all the way to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
There you go. That's quite cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yay. But we do seem to come to this point of the silent, where the silent bliss just pops in, and we can just know that that's where we are. But we might just want to sit and enjoy a bit of silent bliss with each other for a few minutes. And unless anyone else has got anything else they wanted to chat, ponder about, comment, ask. All right, they've stopped. Anyway, we can just have real silence. Just as we're sitting there in that beautiful, quiet bliss, just feeling that interconnectedness between ourselves, between the animals, between all the molecules and atoms in the entire earth. And as you shift into that state of bliss, and you allow your molecules and atoms and cells to vibrate in that state of bliss, just recognize that you're allowing that bliss vibration to spread out into the molecules and atoms surrounding you. And so on, all around the world. To recognize that that vibrational state that you hold yourself in intimately influences what goes on.
What a beautiful smile.
So feel free to sit in that bliss, spread that through your molecules and around for as long as you like, and as often as you can. And yeah, until we meet again. Enjoy your time you'll have lots of time for sitting in bliss, Lacey, in your isolation.
Yeah.
But knowing that you don't just have to sit in it, you can just slip into it, just touch into it. Remember, like once you remember, it's just like plucking that cord, isn't it? Just plucking that string.
Yeah, definitely. Like the more you do the sort of meditation stuff, the easier it is to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely think that's what I'm going to use this.
And if we're lucky, this talk will be available on YouTube as well.
Yes.
I could never watch myself talk.
You can listen to us.
Yeah, I'll just skip past me.
Put the silent part on repeat.
Yeah, just cut right to the end and just bliss into the bliss.
Nice.
And it's in our cellular memory now.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, beautiful ladies, for sharing that moment of bliss with us in the world.
Thank you for sharing the working Zoom link.
I swear I copied anyway, I'll go back and check to see whether they're actually the same, because I thought I copied it from the same spot just moments before. But anyway, I'm glad that we did come together, because for a moment there I'm like, oh, well, we just not, but we really needed to. It was great. So yes.
Timing is always perfect.
Yes, indeed. So much love to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll chat soon.
We will. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.